Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the relationship between Japan and the Bay Area in regards to earthquakes, the Ring of Fire, and tsunamis. So, a lot of people are worried about earthquakes happening now that, here in the Bay Area, now that Japan has had their really huge one. And the thing is that we will not have the same type of earthquakes that Japan is having. Japan is on a different fault system than we are. They have three plates going on that are doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So when a rock breaks and the faults move, their earthquakes are more successive and much bigger than ours. We are on a fault system with only like two plates going, and they're sliding against each other very slowly. So even when we do have our big ones and our aftershocks, they're not going to be as bad because we're not having like three plates going on like, ah. That's what's happening in Japan. Us, it's just like, so the Ring of Fire, which Japan and the Bay Area are both sitting on, is basically all the plates which move on the surface of the Earth that are surrounding the huge Pacific plate. And this is all, all sorts of geological activity, and it's varied depending on what part you're in. Like I just said, Japan has, three plates. The Pacific plate is going under Japan too, whereas the Pacific plate is level with our plate. So in general, there's just less destruction going on geologically. And there's also a difference in the likelihood of tsunamis with Japan and the Bay Area. With Japan, their earthquakes and their fault systems, at least recently, were all active in the seafloor. That is why they had a tsunami. Now, a tsunami is a lot like ripples in the water. If you drop a rock in, ripples coming outward. That's a lot like what happened with the tsunami, except it's going the other way and coming up. So you have ripples going outward that are washing away everything. And the reason why we didn't get hit as hard as Japan did by the tsunami is because we're further away. The bigger the ripples get, in a pond, the thinner they are until eventually you don't see them, which is why we only got small waves. The reason why you don't have a lot of tsunamis happening when we get big earthquakes is because most of our earthquakes are centered on the land, so there's no seafloor to disrupt. Sometimes we get little ones though, because sometimes the faults that get disrupted extend out into the ocean, and you get a little bit, so you get like something like a 5-foot wave. There was a small wave after the 1906 earthquake that hit Berkeley. But you won't get something big like Japan. You won't have successive earthquakes like Japan because we're on a different fault system. And overall, even though both have seismic worries, they're completely different.